Go.
Yeah, it's the podcast. What's the odds with Steve Ranazizi? It's December 2nd, 2020. I didn't have to eat turkey cutlet parmesan. The Giants are in first place. George Clooney cuts his hair with a Flowbee. And you know, I'm gonna bring an emotional support animal on a plane, and it's causing a big old fucking ruckus.
What the fuck
What's
is a
new with
Flowbee?
you guys? What's a Flowbee, you ask? We're gonna start with the hard-hitting news. You know
What?
this podcast, right? We like to ease into it, right? And you want to go with a hard-hitting news story right off the bat.
Well, I didn't realize
we'll
it was
do
hard-hitting, but we can wait.
George Clooney apparently is obviously one of the most giving people in the world. He's got a lot. God bless this man with a lot of gifts. Genetically, he was born very handsome from a very early age. Chicks wanted to bang him. Dudes wanted to fuck him. Then he goes on to become a doctor in ER, and just, you know, his haircut set the world ablaze between, you know, Jennifer Aniston's haircut and George Clooney's haircut in the 90s. It was insane if you didn't have either one of those. I had a Caesar haircut. He was Batman. He didn't get married for a long time, then married like this incredibly smart, beautiful woman, did that right, started a tequila company and made $1 billion. And now he gives a ton of it away, which is not surprising. But what is surprising is that he spent the last 2 years cutting his hair with a Flowbee. Now, if you're not familiar with a Flowbee, they are, I guess, some sort of scissor device. I saw them in infomercials that you hook up to your vacuum cleaner, and it literally, like, so you set the setting on like 1 or 2, right? And then it's like,
oh, and then it just like vacuums up the hair that gets cut off.
Your hair up and just cuts. No, it literally pulls the hair, and then you put the Flowbee on, and the blades in there will cut it to whatever size, and you just like, you just run it around like you're vacuuming your hair, but you're actually
21st century, baby.
That thing, but you're saying that thing from Wayne's World that didn't work 15 years ago is now perfected.
I don't know if Clooney's perfected it himself, or he just went back in time. Or look, the guy, everything works for him. That was my point. So, like,
that should be a bet.
Flowbee.
That should be a bet. Brenton should have to cut his hair with a Flowbee, or Steve should have to cut their hair with a Flowbee.
My hair would work with a Flowbee.
That should be a payoff.
No joke. I could cut my hair with a Flowbee.
On the pod, Flowbee haircut.
A Flowbee haircut given by the other guest one day when we ever get to see each other again. Yeah, I'll cut my. I mean, Brenton, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my hair cut eventually. So I would do it losing a bet.
Oh yeah.
But
Emma, can you enable screen sharing? I got pictures of this thing.
Oh fuck yeah.
Which, by the way, before we went on air, Lucas was asking about the weather in Pittsburgh and how would it affect his DraftKings lineups this afternoon. And Steve shit on me for knowing how weather affects fantasy points. And then we get 20 minutes on George Clooney, like you're the guy out at his trash can.
First of all,
I didn't realize you were such a George Clooney fan. You should write a biography on this man called I Love George Clooney.
I would tell you how long exactly was, but I forgot to plug in my Zoom, and now it's dead. So all this, I'm holding this microphone for nothing.
It's all for show.
We're going, fuck it, we'll do it video. I mean, it's like, I forget, I got everything here. I'm here a half hour early. I'm doing notes. I'm sitting there, and the one thing I forget.
Do you have the USB cord? Just plug it into the computer.
And then what do I do with that?
It charges it.
No, I could charge it now, but I mean, like, is it worth picking the audio up now?
I don't know. It's up to you. It's your podcast.
Who gives a fuck? That's true. It is my podcast. And
I
mean, to be fair, we're 4 minutes in, so I think like an hour of good audio is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll get it done right. Yes. And that was my point. We've only spent 6 minutes on George Clooney's hair. Okay? So don't rib me about your fucking weather report. Speaking of weather reports, and I'm holding the mic now. It's not even on yet, but it will be soon. Speaking of weather reports, thank you to my man Lucas Hurl, who hooked my son up. He had to do a science project on El Nino. So him and his buddy decided to do a fake weather report. So my son was the anchor in the studio, and then he threw it to the man on the street. And Lucas, we did it in front of a green screen, threw some wonderful little backdrops in there and jazzed it up a little bit. So hopefully we'll be getting an A. And if you don't, I'm sending Lucas the email address of the teacher.
Yeah.
And I think it's a woman, and you could probably seduce her if you like. I think she might even be single, if I'm correct. I might be wrong.
Okay.
I'm not too familiar with.
Wow, this
He's in
would be an
junior high now.
adorable love story.
Yeah.
Lucas falls in
If
love with
this
a junior
woman-
high teacher for a green screen.
Yep. That's some fucking what's that lady that writes the Nora Ephron? That's a Nora Ephron, like a Sleepless in Seattle story right there.
Yep.
Thank you very much, buddy, for helping me out on that. All right.
Yeah.
Starting the Zoom again. We're not starting the
Nice.
podcast again because we don't want to lose all that sweet George Clooney hair talk up. But
No, that
yeah.
Philby talk is going to be what puts us over the top.
Yeah. So can we
Did
talk
we-
about his early to mid 30s now, Steve?
Who? Who's early to mid 30s?
Our man George Clooney. I thought you were going to continue your saga of his.
There were
entire
some rough
life
years.
story.
You know, look, everyone. There were other handsome people on the scene. Okay, you had John Stamos. All right.
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe. So it wasn't just like, you know, there were other handsome guys, but he had charisma, the chops, and just the underlying charm to everything he brought. He's an extraordinarily good-looking Tom Hanks. Does any of this make sense to you? Do you want me to get on a soapbox about George Clooney? Because I will, Brenton. Don't make me turn this into an hour of Clooney talk, okay? Yeah, there were some missteps. Batman wasn't the greatest, okay?
Bite your
probably
tongue.
felt stupid.
Batman was terrific.
Don't forget he was in
It
Roseanne.
it was for a different generation. I was a kid when that came out, and it was wonderful.
All these Batmans are for different generations. Isn't it great that Batman can just be whatever? Sometimes he's dark, sometimes he's jovial and light.
Yeah.
He's the shittiest Batman they've ever had, though.
Probably, as far as
Batman.
acting's concerned. But again, I was a kid.
Look, he had a lot on his plate.
I guess your biggest complaint is you don't have George Clooney be Batman because he's got to wear a mask the whole time. You can't stare at his beautiful face. You got to see the jawline.
You want to see everything about him. You want to see, you want to see the charm. I just want to see George Clooney as who's Batman when he walks? Bruce Wayne. Just let him be Bruce Wayne. And then get fucking, I don't know, some other gorilla in the suit. Some guy who can act.
Do you want to fuck George Clooney? Because it sounds like you might. I mean, I'm with you.
Is that an option?
Would you give him the rose on your hat?
Is this the Christmas present, by the way, that you're offering me?
We all chipped in.
Yeah, we were going to see if we could.
A case of his tequila and won a contest, and you get 1 hour with the Clooney.
I don't want to fuck George Clooney, but I do want to go on a date with him. Does that
I get
make sense?
that. I get that.
I want him to think we're going to fuck because I want the full Clooney charm and everything. And look, I'll get down to I want him to take his shirt off, but I can't kiss him on the mouth. I'm not going to suck his cock. I'm not going to touch it. You
want to go on a date with George Clooney, but you want George Clooney to be naked the whole time.
No, shirtless.
Oh, just shirtless. Okay. Like shirtless. In his boxers?
No, he can wear whatever he feels comfortable in his bottom half. Whatever
but no
he feels
shirt.
That way. Yeah, no shirt. I mean, I'm paying for George. This is a once, right? We're doing once in a lifetime here. This isn't coming back around. He's not my boyfriend. He's not my husband. This is like you get one shot, like Eminem.
Yep.
Right? So
and
I want
Tracy
him.
would support it, right?
Yeah, Tracy signed off on it.
Yeah, of course. Oh,
Tracy's actually in the bushes watching.
Yes, I think she really would be. I think if this was a pay-per-view event, we could probably get enough money to get that vaccine to everyone tomorrow.
All right, someone hit up George Clooney. See if he's down.
Dude, he is down to do a lot of crazy things. He cuts his hair with a Flowbee. He's a very giving person. So if he's willing to go on a date with a heterosexual male who just wants to stare at him the entire time, you know what? I'm sure they'll get some eyes on that. People will watch anything. I watched Nate Robinson get the fuck kicked out of him this weekend. It was, and I think there were charity aspects to it, but that wasn't the reason I was there. So, we'll get some looky-loos for me on a slow date with Clooney. I'm sure of it. Pay-per-view event. None of you guys watched that fight this weekend, by the way, did you? No?
I saw the highlights. You just go on Twitter and everything's there.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. First of all, these things were not made for no audiences at all. They were made it was made to be a spectacle, an exhibition. Remember when Apollo fought the Russian, right? Obviously, before he died, there was the big, like, all the celebrities were there, and it was a big thing that, and there was a party, and, like, that's what this was intended to be for. And I'm sure when they booked it in whatever, January, whatever, it was like, all right, great. We'll get the Staples Center. It'll be LA, or right after the holidays. Everyone will be in town. We'll get a lot of celebrities. Great. But then COVID hits, and you're like, oh, fuck, do we still do it? Yeah, well, we got these guys want to fight. We could probably do it, raise some money online. It was not. They had 4 undercard fights, which in between each one, let's just get to this first. In between each one were some of the worst musical performances I have ever seen in my life. Some of them were okay. Some of them, I feel like maybe I'm just aging out of some. Like, I loved rap music growing up, but some of them I'm just like, okay. But French Montana, I'm not a familiar, I'm not really a tremendous fan of French Montana. I probably would know a song or two, but this dude, either he was on Quaaludes or he didn't know what he signed up for. It was one of the worst live performances of any sort I have ever seen in my life. And let me tell you something. As someone who has bombed on TV before, and I bombed on TV, I'm unabashedly could tell you that. I have bombed on television. I know what it feels like. This man had no idea he was bombing on television. I didn't see any sweats. I didn't see any, he had no idea. Maybe because there wasn't an audience there, but it was atrocious. It was unwatchable. So much so that it made the fights more watchable, even though most of them were just shit shows. The Jake Paul, Nate Robinson fight, which I was like, that's kind of the one where I was like, I want to watch it because, I didn't see the first Jake Paul fight. All I know about him is like, he's a YouTube kid who probably, grew up in not great circumstances in Ohio and beat him. So now he thinks he's a fucking superstar and he's untouchable and he's going to run the world. And, he runs his mouth as such. And he's a big dude. And so I wanted to watch him get the shit kicked out of him. And I think it's funny that he was fighting Nate Robinson. As a Knicks fan growing up, I was like, this guy is unbelievable. He shouldn't even be in the NBA. He's 5'9". He's winning dunk competitions. It's crazy, like all the shit he has done. And I'm like, and probably he's been small his whole life. So there's no way that guy didn't fight at least 3 times a week in the, growing up. So I'm like, I'm sure this will be decent. And then it started, and Nate Robinson looked like he just ran at him. Jake Paul had a 9-inch reach advantage, and literally just, batted him down. I wouldn't even say punched him out, batted him out twice. The last one being, I thought we had just watched a homicide. He hit him so hard, and he went down much like Apollo Creed. He was like, and it was crazy because Jake Paul looked like the Russian, and Nate Robinson's laying on the ground, and I'm like, oh my God. And it didn't seem like they had a doctor there right away. They just were talking to him and hey man, you good? I think it's one of them gave him smelling salts. Thank God at this point Snoop Dogg had come in to do the announcing, because it was the only thing that made this thing watchable. Snoop Dogg was unbelievable. Snoop Dogg should be he's the big winner of the night. The big losers of the night: French Montana, Nate Robinson, and whoever booked the Staples Center for some ungodly reason, because you could have done this thing in a fucking Y, in a gymnasium. That's how, you didn't need anything. It was just the ring the whole fucking time. So it was a shit show. Then we got, oh, by the way, Snoop Dogg talking about Nate Robinson, just telling him the way you would yell at a street fight, move, motherfucker, move. You gotta get out of there, Nate. It was hilarious. Absolutely. Hands down, Snoop should be host the Oscars. That's my thing. My takeaway is Snoop should host the Oscars, and I'm not fucking joking.
Have you ever seen the videos of him doing commentary on nature videos?
Yes,
it's fantastic
at that shit. He's a great ad-libber, a great talker. I truly, honestly, I'm not kidding. I think that's what to make these award shows when they come back, have him truly host one of these big award shows, preferably the Oscars, because that's the one I'd love to see him do the most, because I think he'd be fucking phenomenal at it. He was awesome.
He'd be like
Awesome.
smoking a blunt on stage. It'd be
Dude,
amazing.
yeah. Which, by the way, wherever the Oscars going to be in California, it's perfectly fucking legal. So who gives a shit? If what's his name? I'm sure in the 60s and 70s, a couple of those fucking guys came out. Dean Martin, whoever hosted in 65, came out with a cigarette. I'd love to see Snoop Dogg come out with a fucking joint. I would love it. And he would be great at it. And I hope everyone starts a write-in campaign to have Snoop Dogg host all award shows from here on forward. So, and then the big fight was Tyson Jones, which Mike Tyson, dude, when he came out and did 3 head bobs and then just ripped into Roy, it felt like watching Tiger Woods come back at the Masters in 2019. It was like, holy shit, you get to see it one more time. I never, ever thought I'd get to see this again. I remember when I first moved to LA, one of the first parties I went to when I got a job at the Comedy Store, Richie Taylor invited me to the Tyson Holyfield fight. And we watched it. It was the one where he got the ear bit. I think it was that. Yeah, it was that.
The second one.
Yeah, and I was like, and I remember being like, that's it. It's done. I'm never going to be able to watch a Tyson all out where he comes in prepared, ready to go, just fucking mauler. And for, a 56, whatever he is, year-old version of himself, that's what he looked like, dude. That's what he looked like. He looked like he came in there not to kill Roy Jones, but to maul him and get in on him and hit him hard. And he did. And Roy Jones did what he normally does, bounced around. I mean, it was garbage, but it was fucking fun to watch. It was what you expected 50-year-old guys to be able to put up. And, I'm not saying I'd pay for it again, but I wanted to see what was still possible. And it was fun to watch. That was a fun one to watch. The Nate Robinson, Jake Paul one was a fucking disaster, but that one was a good fight to watch. They leaned on each other. They were tired. It wasn't like they were all over each other, but in moments Roy Jones connected a couple times. He looked still pretty quick. So it was interesting, but goddamn, dude, French Montana. And who could we get to knock out Jake Paul? I reached out to Schaub and I was like, can someone just shut this guy up? Because that's what he needs. He needs to get Nate Robinson. If Nate Robinson did to Jake Paul, if it was reversed, he wouldn't be able to handle it. Nate Robinson got up. I mean, he was knocked the fuck out. And there were so many memes and, Twitter was all over him right away. But it was he came in, and then he started joining in on the conversation, But I don't think Jake Paul would have been able to deal with it as well. And that's what I want to see. I want to see him get, he's not.
He needs to be humbled.
Yeah. He's calling out Floyd Mayweather and
he called out Conor McGregor and
Dylan Dennis. It's what?
Is he the one that put up the video of the person that had hung themselves, or was that his brother?
His brother,
Jake Paul.
Pretty sure he's the one. I think Jake
the whole
Paul's
family's fucked up, but they're
I didn't even know he had a brother.
Multi-millionaires. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They sell shirts that say "Fierce" on them and make $20 million a year.
Fierce?
Something stupid like that.
Keep calm and bake on.
What the fuck?
Dude, these Gen Z kids with the Instagram and YouTube stars, they make more money than we could ever dream of winning. If we bet the house and got it right 50 times, we wouldn't even come close to their net worths.
Yeah, they love shitty merch. But the truth is, they don't know how to use it. So when that money goes away,
no, they're all fucking idiots.
They're just gonna blow it all, and then they're gonna be 60-year-olds who live on the sidewalk.
What are they blowing their money on? Do you think anyone is doing it wisely? Do you think any of them have some sort of financial shitty merch? Yes.
In Jake Paul's defense, he was caught looting in Arizona during the whole. You remember the protest?
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
Yeah, so he's not paying for shit in his defense, so he could still have money when he's old.
Well, that's good. I mean, we wouldn't want to see Jake Paul on the streets, would we? Then he might have to actually fight for his life.
He'll be doing bum fights in 40 years.
Yeah, I'm calling out people. Like, that's the thing now. That's the way to go. Like, that's how to get traction. You got to call people out now. Like, Rogue just called me out. You got to call, like, so Jake Paul calls. Yeah, so like Jake Paul, like Nate Robinson called out Jake Paul. So I'm going to call out Steph Curry in golf because I watched the match, and I know he's a +1 handicap, and I'm as of today I think a 9.2 handicap. So if you want to get together and do it, I'm calling out Steph Curry in a golf match.
How do you get a .2? How do you get a
.2?
Well, I don't know anything about golf.
You know what decimals mean, right?
I know what decimals mean, but how do you have a decimal in a stroke? How do you have 0.2 of a stroke as a handicap?
Okay, well, let's just see. I'm going to break it down for you. 1 second here, Brenton. Ready? Ready for this, Brenton?
Go ahead.
Let's just say, and these are two would not be scores in golf, but say one day you got a 14, and the next day you got a 15. What would be your average score, Brenton? What would be the average score?
It'd be a 14.5, but how is that your handicap?
14.5. That would be. So what I'm saying to you is because there are uneven numbers and even numbers, there will be.
Well, yeah, I get that. I just didn't realize like the handicap was the average of all of your games put together. I thought the handicap was, I suck 9 times, so I need these 9 strokes. I didn't realize it was like
kind of. That's how it ends up working functionally. That like I would get 9 or maybe sometimes 10 of the hardest holes. I would get an extra stroke against someone that was a scratch golfer. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But how it's calculated is, your recent 20 scores, your high and your lows get dropped. So there's a whole fucking math equation, which I can't explain to you. But I don't think I have to explain basic math that sometimes numbers aren't all nicey nice and whole. Right, buddy?
Well, they should be. They are in putt-putt, Steve.
Dude, I'm just happy that you're financially secured. I'd be more worried about you if you'd not won the $1 million. I really would, because I think you'd still be holding on to something here, and you'd still like doing the weather reports for these games and stuff. Is it going to snow in Pittsburgh today? I don't know. Is it going to snow? It's 37 degrees with the humidities at this and that. It's like, who gives a fuck?
Lucas does. He asked the question.
Ravens.
Lucas does. He asked the question.
To run a high school offense because they don't have football players playing.
They do.
Ran a high school offense, completed 1 pass.
Huge difference.
That's the product
huge difference.
Every week.
There's a huge difference.
At the weather report. Over.
You're talking about 2 very different situations. You have a quarterback.
You're talking about trying to make lemonade out of lemons, and I'm saying it's poison. The tree is poisoned.
Okay, well, the Ravens are going to cover the 10 points today. That's what I'm saying. You're not looking. Yes. The situation.
And 18 more people are going to get COVID, and next week the Steelers aren't going to have anyone. The Steelers are probably going to be the only team that's going to suffer the most. They're the best team in football. They're always ready to play. Nobody's got COVID, and they keep playing these teams that get COVID, and then they're going to get COVID in the fucking playoffs, and none of them are going to be allowed to play, and they're not going to win. You understand?
James Conner is on the COVID list. I don't know if that's because he tested positive or because, he had cancer. He
went outside, probably.
Well, he had cancer, and so he's a high-risk person, so maybe they're holding him out just to keep him away from this game.
My point is this, Brenton. You're looking at nuances when it's like, oh, look at that wonderful flame over there, when the forest is on fire, okay? The forest is on fire in the NFL. You either bubble this thing today or you shut the fucking thing down. You do not. How are the Steelers going to play the fucking, who are they supposed to play? The one of the NFC East teams this coming weekend, the games that we're going to talk about on this podcast. How are they going to play them 4 days later? They
moved that game, I think, to Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay, 5 days later. still, I know it's Sunday to Thursday shit, but it's like, give me a fucking break, dude. Give me a break. We're talking about trying to keep Humpty Dumpty together, and it ain't gonna happen. The shit is broken. It's over. I'm so
Steve,
frustrated with it.
Yeah, you gotta hope that because they play the Washington football team next week.
Yes.
So you need a healthy team.
I'm in a great mood. I was in a great mood till I started talking to you, Brendan. I was in a great mood because my team's in first place. My
with Colt
team,
McCoy
just like
quarterback.
your team, is in first fucking place.
How do you feel about Colt McCoy? Let's talk about Colt McCoy.
No, let's talk about how I never doubted this team. Let's talk about how from day one
you've doubted them since they drafted Jones. You're such a roller coaster fan. You were hating every draft pick, and then Daniel Jones got nicknamed Danny Dimes for like 3 weeks, and you were like, "This guy is the savior of the New York Football Giants. He's going to bring us to the promised land." And then you hated him again forever.
No.
And now you're back.
You're misjudging what I feel for them. Okay. My frustration that you're reading as the team is coming from the fact that I think that the organization is trying to do the best they can, and they're getting fucked at every turn. The injuries, the guy.
Everybody has injuries. 49ers would be undefeated if they were healthy.
That's why I feel like we are unbelievably like not the worst team in the NFC. Like, I'm not saying we would win a playoff game, but I would say that if we played a team that had a player or two that couldn't play because of like an equalizer COVID situation, I would say it'd be, not that bad of a matchup. Like this week, I'm interested to see. Obviously, Colt McCoy makes a big difference. I'd like to see Daniel Jones, but like, I want to see the Seahawks. I think we could beat the Seahawks.
Yeah, their defense isn't good. It's gotten a little bit better, but it isn't good. So
but
you could, if Colt
next
McCoy
week Arizona, because if we lose and if Daniel Jones can come back, which by the way, Daniel Jones is from what I heard, a very tough guy. This is what everyone keeps saying. He broke his clavicle in college and played 2 weeks later. So this is the word on the street is that he's very tough. If they allowed him to do so, he would tie duct tape around the back of his hamstring and go out there and play this week. But it probably is not going to happen. But next week against the Cardinals, that's something I'm like, okay, I'm interested in that. I think we could win that game, especially if I think it's at home too. And then we got and then we got the Ravens, and then we got the good old fucking Cowboys. So I think we can. If we can get 2 out of 4 of those games, because next week, the rest of the NFC teams have to play the Steelers, the Ravens, and someone else really fucking hard. Another good team. So, a loss for everyone is a win for us as well at this point. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. God damn, dude. I can't believe we're in first place. And we didn't play that poorly.
No, you really haven't. You've been in most of the games. There's just like one play or one bad mistake. Yeah, you should have beaten the Bucks.
But by the way, thank you for the case of wine that you'll be sending to me.
Oh, I already sent. It's shipped.
Oh, it's shipped.
It's been processed. It's a beautiful selection of some of my favorite wines that are currently in my underground cloud cellar, and the total value of the case will be $513.
Oh, really? Wow, yes. Big spender there. Look at that.
I didn't pay that. I paid like $140 for the wine, but you get upgrades.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very savvy.
You should have just left it at the $540. I would have been really much more impressed than I was.
$513.
Cool. I mean, did you feel like at all like the Jets? Like when did you like?
No. I knew on Friday. Listen, I knew on Friday because again, this is what I've been preaching to our listeners. It's very hard to do a podcast on a Wednesday when you have a certain piece of information and then it changes before the game start. If Fitzpatrick was starting, I would have never taken the Jets. It all was based on Tua, who was the starter on Wednesday. And then on Thursday.
Did you know? Hold on. Can I ask you another question? Did you know that they were playing the Jets still? Did that change on Friday?
I knew they were playing the Jets. I knew they were playing the Jets. And you know what? The Jets played them a lot better this time than they did the first time they played. What I'm saying is, Tua at quarterback, there's something going on in Miami where I think they've realized, A, he's not ready, and B, he sucks compared to Fitzpatrick. So they don't want to pull the whole, oh, we might have made a mistake throwing him out there, and maybe we shouldn't have taken him. Maybe we should have taken Justin Herbert or somebody else. So he gets a thumb injury in practice, and they hold him out. Meanwhile, his coach is going, he's our guy, he's our guy, he's our guy forever. He's still injured this week. No one's really talking about that. They're going to find a way just to move Fitzpatrick back into the starting role because Tua sucks. And if he had started that game, I think the Jets would have at least covered, like we took the bet on, or, for the parlay. But I think they would have won that game because Tua is just terrible. He's won a couple of games where he hasn't had to do anything, and then they pulled him against the fucking Vikings? The Vikings.
Yeah. Well, regardless of whether or not.
I get it. You won, and I'm very happy for you. And
I know that, but I'm saying, I don't think that the Dolphins – whether you might be right that they're realizing they may have made a mistake, but I don't think they're out there trying to lose games on purpose. So I think
no.
You should always assume they were going to go with the quarterback that's going to give them the best chance to win.
But what I'm saying is they went all in after the bye week on Tua and said he's our guy. He's gonna bring it home. And they realized 3 weeks after he got the starting role, oh, he sucks. So they kind of, instead of just saying we're going back to Fitzpatrick and ruining his ego and, mentally destroying him in his first season, they're going, oh, well, he's injured now. He hurt his thumb in practice, so he can't play for the next 7 weeks. They're tiptoeing around what the reality is, that they put a guy in a position before he was ready because he's selling more jerseys than Tom Brady. And they've won enough games that they're not going to have to worry about getting the first pick and having to make a decision on homeboy. So you're not going to have the questions coming down like, oh, is it going to be, you going to go with Tua or are you going to draft, what's his name, in Clemson? So, that guy, they will have a decision to make. They will have to figure out going forward if, it could be another Josh Rosen situation, or, maybe they figure out how to make a Kyle Murray out of this guy. So, I don't know who else in they're going to look at the other guys coming out of college in the quarterback position. There's Fields and the other guy from
Lawrence.
Yes. So, I don't know enough about those guys versus Tua, but I don't think it's a cut and dry situation. And Fitzpatrick,
there's something fishy going on in Miami, unintended.
I'll tell you what the next great matchup's going to be. It's going to be Fitzpatrick on Monday Night Football versus, or wherever he lands, versus Tony Romo. I think Fitzpatrick is going to be more charming, more analytical, more.
He's going to be funnier.
He's going to be great,
dude.
He's
got jokes.
He is going to be great. And I'll tell you what the next great duo of
unlike Tony Romo, he's familiar with literally every team in the league because he's played for all.
Yep. He knows every offense. He knows all the defenses. So, he's going to be a great analyst. Him, I think homeboy that's going to retire from the Seahawks this year, the tight end. What's his name? The guy from Carolina. Yes, he's going to be another great one too. He did a couple games last year. So
I think he's got one more year in him. He says he's going to come back. Yeah,
it wasn't he got hurt.
It wasn't career-ending injury. It was.
I thought he tore his Achilles.
He says he wants to come back.
He's looking slow though.
Achilles.
Yeah, but he's still good enough. He's a blocking tight end now, and
but who wants to
run him out for
come rehab from a torn Achilles at 38 to come back for what would be your swan song fucking season? Come on.
Yeah, only Kobe can do that.
I mean, he might if he's still with the Seahawks and they're a contender next year, he might want to come back and try to win a Super Bowl.
If I could do broadcasting as well as he could on the side, I'd be like, that's the next, I could rehab in the fucking booth, keep my leg up the whole time.
Yeah, but I mean, that's always waiting for him. Play as long as you can play.
Speaking of legs, though, Alex Smith will be a broadcaster too. They will pay a lot of money for him.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think he will. I think he do. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, the interviews and stuff you see are good. I like compared to Fitzpatrick, who happened to be on the league and we knew him then, but like you hear him speak in interviews and how smart he is and how he's just a fucking another guy. I'm not saying I want to go on a date with him. I'm not saying I do, but I would want to hang with him. I want to be his friend.
Do you think he could cut the beard with the George Clooney device? Does that work as a beard trimmer too? The Flowbee?
100%.
Can you shave with that?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's over a certain amount of inches, that's what she said, then we're good to go. I think you could Flowbee anything you want. You could probably Flowbee your pubes. Maybe we should do that. You got to Flowbee your pubes on a losing bet. A pube Flowbee.
That sounds like a little dangerous. It sounds like you might suck something up into the vacuum you don't want to.
It could be interesting. That's a game
might
changer,
feel great.
guys.
Who knows?
You never know. You never know. How was everyone's Thanksgiving, by the way? Did you guys have a nice one?
Super chill.
Yeah,
terrible football
Very
games,
chill.
but a good day.
Yeah, I know. They were done on
21-pound turkey.
Oh my God. Oh, did you? Yes, and you had your turkey parms left over. Did you eat all your turkey parms?
Oh, we just finished it last night. It was delicious.
By the way, I've polled every single person I've ever talked to since the week we've spoken last, and to a man and a woman and a child and one animal that I asked, no human being is interested in turkey parmesan. People have asked tons of disgusting questions. Do you bread it? Do you then bread the turkey? Or do you just throw the cheese and the sauce on the actual turkey?
No. You bread it.
So then you cook the turkey. The turkey's cooked. You then take the slice of white meat, you bread it, you fry it, and then you throw the cheese and sauce on it, and then you eat it.
Yes.
You are a shit pig. That is horrible.
Delicious.
And no one in the world wants to eat that. No one.
We made turkey pot pie with ours, and I guarantee it was better.
Of course it was, because it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's logical. All those things go together.
But hey, if you liked it,
cheese and turkey parm
I loved it.
Go together.
It was delicious, and I made it, and it was mine.
That's all that matters, really.
And congrats to the Lions. Even though they lost me the bet, they fired Patricia. So good for them, and maybe they'll finish the year strong. The fucking number 2 pencil is gone. Do you think when he got fired, do you think they locked him out of his office and the pencil's still in there?
In his hair or in his
in his office? Like, does he get to keep the pencil, or is it the Lions' property?
I bet he ate
if
the
it
pencil.
says, oh yeah, on the way out the door, he shoved that pencil up his ass.
Fucking idiot, man. They were dominating the Texans on the ground to start the game, and then they just decide we're not going to do that anymore. Let's throw a pass to Matt Stafford, who has an injured thumb. Let's do that. Let's make our quarterback, who can't catch to begin with an injured thumb, try to catch a football.
Why would you doubt me when I told you that they were going to lose that game? Why would you doubt me? I told you that was going to happen.
Your track record proves that you're not 100% correct. The Lions ran the ball, and when they did, they were effective.
In his defense, though, Will Fuller was on some steroids or something.
Yeah, exactly. That is not a clean game.
What? Will Fuller ate his turkey parm that day, and then
he was on. You didn't see that? He got suspended the rest of the season and into next season because he tested positive for PEDs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Will Fuller's done.
Damn,
and he probably won't stay in for just the first game or two. It's like a 6 or 8 game suspension or something.
6.
So he's going to miss one game next year.
What did he take?
He said that he went to the doctor for mental health issues, and the doctor prescribed him something that was supposed to be okay, and then it turns out it wasn't okay, and he should have known better to trust the guy, and now he's probably done in Houston.
Yeah, that sucks. Oh my God, dude!
But he did.
He's a free agent. He's a free agent too, so
I doubt they'll re-sign him. But he did show that if he can stay healthy, he is a pretty good wide receiver.
I got
maybe that was the steroids.
I got banged up on Thanksgiving hard. We went to a friend's house after for someone a school friend that we've been very close contact with. I don't need any fucking letters. For an after dinner drink, and they never had Bailey's before, so I brought a bottle over and then proceeded to drink half of it myself. And rough one, real rough. I slept with the Whoop on. I was like, oh, this is gonna be. I slept for 10 hours, right? I was in REM sleep for 11 minutes. And I recovered at 1%. 1% recovery.
Wow.
One.
That's bad.
1% recovery. I slept for 10 hours and recovered 1%. It was horrible. Friday was a real rough day. Lots of liquids, lots of just little quiet times, little nappy naps, but yeah, a half a bottle of Bailey's. Bingo, bro. I took my shirt off in the car ride home. That's how the boys are like, are you hot, Dad? I'm like, you're damn right I'm hot. It's 1,000 degrees in this car.
It gets hot when you get drunk.
Oh, yeah, dude. My body was overheating. It was awesome.
My in-laws got me a wine advent calendar, so I have a bottle every day for the next 24 days.
Whoa, that's a lot of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I'm going to drink all of it.
Is it good stuff, or are they like little mini bottles? Is it church wine?
No, it's not.
Don't
church
drink
wine.
it if it's church wine.
It's good wine. It's from. I had a rosé from Portugal last night.
Is it all? Is it full bottles?
No, they're the half bottles, but that's still like three glasses of wine.
Yeah, it's still better than I was picturing you drinking a whole bottle to the dome.
No, I'm not chugging Bailey's.
Dude, I drank a half a bottle of Bailey's. First of all, my buddy, he's like my mom has one, and his mom brought out this bottle. It was 22 years old. She poured it, and
is it chunky?
when I tell you, chunky, only black stuff came out. It was like you know how Bailey's is like, it's like creamy. It's got like, the liqueur is the black part. Only that came out.
Well, yeah, because the cream was
Let
probably
me drink
solid.
that. I was like, no, don't drink that. We had to get a new bottle. Like, it was like, yeah. But then Bailey's on the rocks, dude. Little after dinner drink.
Mm-hmm.
Half a bottle of that. Get your fucking. I mean, that was after like a bottle of wine and 3 beers.
It's a lot.
Was,
and you know what? That would have been a great opportunity to pay off your jumping through the table bet.
Yeah.
Honestly, you would have got me to yes, easily. If you were like, look, Steve, instead of clearing the Thanksgiving table, we'd like you to jump through it. I've been like, game fucking on. What a great tradition. Here we go. I would have done it for sure. I would have gone straight through.
Yeah, that's
100%.
how Bills fans clean up their tailgates. They don't want to actually pick everything up. They just break the table and it stays there.
I love it, dude. Fuck yeah. I haven't been that drunk in a while, which was fun though. I needed it. That's why I watched that match all day on the next day, which was kind of boring. It's like Peyton Manning's boring when he's not. Let Peyton Manning talk more, but he's like when he's playing golf, he's pretty boring. Steph Curry's boring. Charles Barkley was interesting because his swing is fucking atrocious, but it actually looked pretty good. And Phil Mickelson was like overbearing. He was like the kind of guy. I don't know if you watched it, but like he was helping Charles Barkley out so much, it just became to the point where he's like. As a fan, I was like, shut the fuck up. Let the man think, breathe for a second. You're like a fucking blanket all over him, dude. Crazy. Telling him what to hit, telling him everything, telling him, look at this. I'm like, I would have been like, shut the I'm here too, motherfucker. I'm not like, this isn't a Make-A-Wish. So, yeah, it was kind of fun to watch, but, not really. The matches have to get a little more competitive or – it wasn't the best one out of all these. Let's just put it that way.
Well, it sounds like the one before was good because it was Brady and Manning talking shit to each other, and otherwise it's just watching old guys that can't really play golf.
I like Brady and looking human by like fucking up golf shots. That makes me happy. Like seeing him as a human being. It's like watching a person trip over. Mm-hmm. It's humanizing, and I need to see it once in a while. But this one was like, it was just sort of, didn't really need it. But if they had Snoop Dogg commentating it, I definitely would have fallen asleep 3 times during it. So, but again, Steph Curry, holler at your boy, bro. Let's do it.
Get your Twitter back and start tweeting at him.
I don't tweet. It's a cesspool. It's a garbage dump, and I don't need to do it. But my voice is bellowing, and it has many people that reach out. And I've got back channels. I'll get my word to them. Step up or get swept up, Steph. All right? I'm a Callaway crew man myself. I don't know what clubs you're rocking, but I'll put my 9.7 up against your +1 any day of the week. Let's fucking roll. Let's do it. Okay? Let's fucking do it. I was about to say something else before I got impassioned. No, golf. What was I saying before that? Damn it!
That's all that Bailey's.
Yeah, it was Bailey's.
Yeah.
Burned it right out of your brain.
Bailey's brain, dude. Bailey's brain just fucking left it right out. Not golf. Calling people out. Steph Curry.
Not the Giants.
Instagram. Not the Giants. Forget it. It sucked anyway. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's an NFL game today on at noon. That's why we're doing this podcast at fucking.
But
what time is it? 6 o'clock in the morning, wherever we are right now.
Do you know why the game is at noon?
No.
Because they're lighting the Rockefeller Christmas tree, so the game got bumped. They assume more people would want to watch that than the Ravens Steelers. So football,
also because this game was supposed to happen a fucking week ago, so maybe people have lost interest.
It is kind of bullshit. The league is not consistent with the pushing and the rescheduling. Like they really helped out the Titans, which kind of fucked the Bills for 2 weeks. They've really helped out the Ravens. They didn't do shit for the Broncos.
No, nothing.
By the way, they just reported that all the quarterbacks on the Broncos got fined as well. So not only did they have to watch that game on Sunday, they got fined.
Dude, first of all, not one of those Bronco quarterbacks is a bona fide starter in the NFL, right? All of them are guys who have to earn jobs. So all of them. Forget fine. Fine is like insult to injury. They're never going to work again as quarterbacks. They're never going to get a chance again. No, they're not. You think Blake Bortles, that fucking retard's going to get a fucking another job, another shot? That guy, they couldn't get him in Jacksonville to think straight, to use his brain, to think like a leader. And then they bring him over. They say the one job you have is to wear a mask. You're the backup quarterback, and you don't like the way it feels. You're gone, dude. You're done. It's over.
Did you see the Washington football team took your advice from months ago and they signed a quarantine quarterback yesterday?
Yeah. Everyone should be doing that. Everyone should have a Dan Orlovsky on the side, just sitting there learning his shit at home, working out at a high school, and then you come in. Otherwise, you're going to have whoever the hell the Broncos had.
But they seriously tried to get their offensive control coach to be able to play quarterback.
Yes.
Well, you got to keep in mind that the guy that they started, he played, quarterback in college, but he was not like practicing as a quarterback. He was practicing as a wide receiver. They had 24 hours to learn as many plays as his brain could handle. And he hadn't thrown a football.
That's high school football shit, dude. When your best player gets hurt on Thursday before the big game, your best athlete, which is usually your wide receiver, goes, all right, fuck it, I'll play quarterback.
Yeah.
That's Friday Night Light shit right there.
But if you were playing on Yahoo, they had Hinton as a wide receiver, so there were some people that were trying to play him as an extra quarterback. See, again, this time it didn't work. This time it backfired.
I'm trying to watch actual professional football players, and you're like, well, if I get this guy as my wide receiver, he's going to get quarterback numbers, and I'll keep Tyson Hill in as a tight end. And what are you going to have? A Frankenstein team you're going to have.
Hey,
I don't
worked.
get it.
Taysom Hill got me a shitload of points when I had him at tight end, which,
But
by
now
the way,
your fantasy
ESPN
football year is done, dude. You just have to leave the.
It's not done.
You can't do anything. You said you can't move anyone around.
No.
So what,
ESPN actually physically moved him out of my lineup and replaced him with Goddard. I think if I didn't have another tight end, maybe they wouldn't have been able to. But I woke up one morning and it was just switched, and I was like, fuck. But it was fine because I had to swap some things out anyway.
I think Emma beat me this
that
week.
dream's dumb.
No, you beat. Well, we are not done yet, but technically, I think you're beating me right now. It was close for a second, though.
Oh yeah, because of the fucking Steeler. I forgot.
Yeah,
I'm like, how are we not done yet?
My kicker hasn't played yet, but unless my kicker's gonna get me over 30 points, I think you're gonna win.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
Wait, did you have Hill this week?
Yeah, he did, and he got 57 points.
Tyreek Hill had the third most. Tyreek Hill had the third most fantasy points in the history of fantasy football.
Yeah, you got 57.9 points for him this week.
Unreal. So
fucking wild. My defense got 18 points, though. That was pretty nice.
That's good.
Pretty solid. But yeah, my kicker hasn't played yet, so we're not done yet. But I don't think I'm going to get 30 points.
8 points. I was like, oof. Kyler Murray. Big time fucking oof.
Something wrong with that shoulder.
Yeah, I was happy that
he's scared to run now too.
Do you think that the Bucs actually made a game of it and are a legitimate sort of?
No, I think the Chiefs took their foot off the pedal, and they were a far superior team to the Bucs. And the entire offense of Tampa Bay needs to change if they're going to compete with teams like that and go deep in the postseason. Because Arians just wants to air it out, and Brady, he wants to as well because he's got that ego, and he's like, I'm going to shut up all the doubters like me, and it's not working. He's either underthrowing or putting too much air under the ball, and he's getting – I mean, his picks are ugly.
Yeah. It looks like he's – yeah. When he looks confused is what he – in coverages – and so, which is what we've never seen before. I don't think I've ever seen him look confused. Against the Giants in those Super Bowls, it wasn't really coverages as much as it was the defensive line not giving him enough time to get the ball to where he wanted to get it to. But there was never really coverage issues. This is the first time I've ever seen him look like he doesn't know what he's facing here. Yeah. And I don't know if that's Arians or if that's him. I think it's probably a little bit of both, but I thought the game was over. I was first half, and then I really didn't even watch much of the second half until I came back in the fourth quarter and saw that it was a kind of a game again, and that they were going to have a drive to kind of get there. But I was like, oh, are they legitimately just got beat this week, and two good teams and one beat the other, or because Tampa can look good sometimes, and I don't know how they can't with all those offensive weapons, but. Yeah, I don't know.
None of them are on the same page. It's like they're all running in different directions, and there's nothing coordinated. The timing's off on everything. And if teams, and it's on tape now, the last few weeks teams have been blitzing Brady like crazy. His QBR is like 50 when he gets blitzed.
Yeah.
Do you think that anyone's going to do?
Do you think that that Arians gets fired after this year? And if so, do you think that's a good idea? Because think about it. If it's him, you only got Brady for one more year after that.
Yeah.
Unless you want him for another year.
If Arians gets fired, it's 100% because Tom Brady went above him and said, I don't like this guy. He's making me look bad, and we can win without him. It would be Tom Brady would get him fired. I don't think he should be fired. I think they need to get a new Tom Brady. They need a new quarterback.
But they're not.
I know Winston threw 30 picks last year, but
no, I know. But they have him signed for 2 years, so he's back next year.
I know, but they could still just like get out of the contract and eat the dead money. They could get another quarterback.
They're not going to cut. Tom
I know
Brady,
they're not going to.
$30 million.
They should do that. They're not going to.
Are you out of your mind? Who are you going to get? That it's like. You're not going to draft it. It's like, give me a break, man. They signed him for 2 years. You got 2 years with this guy. There's no giving him up next year, bro. They're not cutting Tom Brady.
Well, I don't think they fire Arians, but if he is gone, it's because of Tom Brady.
Well, what I'm saying is they either got to, they got to get – it's the two of them that are not working right now.
Yeah.
The two of them are not working. So either they got to get on the same page, which doesn't look like it's happening, or one of them's got to go. And unfortunately, only one of them can go. And it's like, you're going to give up a good coach for, a decent quarterback for one more year. So we'll see. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, but
do you think
Belichick
would come down to Tampa Bay if they offered him all the money in the world?
Robert Kraft is never letting go of Bill Belichick. Not until Bill Belichick wants to leave. Do you think Robert Kraft wants to deal with a new personality? I mean, don't you think fucking Josh McDaniels is waiting for that day that Belichick goes, I'm going somewhere else, or I'm moving on, or I'm done?
I'm just saying, what's his contract? What's Belichick's contract? And what if
I think it's whatever
Tampa
it is
Bay put together, a crazy amount of money that you'd be like Moneyball type of money, like be our guy, and we're going to make you the highest paid person in the history of anything that's ever been done.
Remember when they traded 2 first-round picks for John Gruden? They did.
Yeah.
They'll pay the price.
They will. 2 first-round picks.
They're fucking crazy down there. They're shooting money out of the cannons.
Jesus Christ, man. God damn, dude.
Belichick's making $12.5 million a year.
Well, he's the GM though too.
And what if they give him? What if they go, hey, we want you
to give him both jobs too?
We want it. Right? We'll give you both jobs, and we want you for 4 years. Here's $200 million. I mean,
68.
Yeah, he's not young, so he's not going to be doing it much longer. But if they gave him like here's your going away party, we're going to give you so much money, you're not going to be able to spend it with the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Maybe they could coax him down if they get rid of Arians. I mean, it's all a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. But what if it did? And then they're all reunited again, him and Gronk and Brady, and he gets to coach that defense that's sick, and he brings his kid with the mullet to coach them up.
His kid with the mullet.
Kid with the mullet.
I mean, the guy likes – you can't tell me Belichick doesn't like money. He's doing Subway ads. If he didn't care about money, he would not be on TV at all. He's doing fucking Subway ads.
He likes it a little bit. He shows up at parties with his wife, his hot wife, and he wears those fucking weird shorts, and he looks, like a creep. But yeah, so he's not just sitting at home hunting or fishing or whatever by himself. He likes to get out a little bit, but I don't think he's going anywhere besides New England. And I don't think Tom Brady is going. No, they're not cutting him, and they're not getting rid of him. So they got another year with him. And whether it's going to be with Bruce Arians, I don't know. But as long as the Giants win this week against the Seahawks, I'm good. And I think that I don't know do they have a line for that yet?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I was looking at
I have Seahawks minus 9.5.
Okay. So you're saying there's a chance?
Oh, there's definitely a chance.
We're on the road.
What site are you on, Lucas? Because my bookie doesn't have it.
My bookie doesn't have it. Yeah.
I'm on DraftKings.
Oh, we can't, dude. I would use DraftKings. California needs to get their shit together. We still can't legally sports bet through like an app. Like, I don't know how my bookie's legal. I guess because it's out of like Portugal or something. These laws are weird. California, you can't use DraftKings, but you can use my bookie or whatever. And
by the way,
each state has a different.
If this game does happen this afternoon, this will be the only year where there's a game on every day of the week.
Oh, it is happening. And there's no Thursday game this week.
No, but I'm saying this year, yeah. But as far as
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. There's a Christmas
for the entire
game,
year.
So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Why didn't they move the Christmas thing to tomorrow night then? Who gives a fuck? The tree's not going anywhere. Give me a break. We could have had this thing on a prime time. By the way, have you seen the Christmas tree this year? It came from Oneonta, New York, where I went to college. Oneonta means City of Hills in Indian or Native American. I didn't mean to be racist, but Native American Indians. And so it's, I thought, probably the worst tree I've ever seen in my life when they first put it up. I'm sure they jazzed it up and it's going to look decent tonight. But if you get a picture of it, Lucas, like there's a couple shitty ones. If you find, you'll see. You're like, oh my god.
What's the odds you pissed on that?
It looks like a Charlie Brown tree.
What's the odds you pissed on that tree in college, Steve?
1,000%. Some sort of species or some sort of excrement. Yeah, look at that tree, dude. Looks like Charlie Brown.
It does not look good.
We want to tune in tonight. We got football bumped for this fucking thing. Charlie Brown's Christmas tree. Look at this piece of shit. The fucking branches aren't even in there. Like, it looks like half of it's missing branches. Oh my god! What a disgrace! What a disgrace! Not since me has anything so disgraceful come out of New York. Oh, not since me and my antics. Anyway, well, let's pick some games. I mean, it's like literally fucking shooting, into the sky right now with this whole fucking thing, because we're probably gonna end up hitting someone or killing ourselves. This is the dumbest thing we've ever done, picking football games during a pandemic.
We're not touching today's game, but my bookie has Baltimore plus 10.5, which I think
we didn't touch it last week. We're not going to touch it again this week.
So first up, we've got the Lions visiting the Chicago Bears, who will start Mitch Trubisky. The Lions are getting 3 points on the road.
I always think the teams that just fire their coach are always coming like they're there to play for something.
Yes.
They're there to prove that whatever was wrong may be over and now they can move on. So I like the 3 points. I don't know if I necessarily like them to win, but I like them around. And so
they're usually a team that hangs around. They've lost 2 games very badly on like the last play this year.
Yeah.
They'll get Swift back. Galladay's still not practicing, but maybe he comes back, and Stafford should be healthier with his thumb. The only thing that, stinks is the Bears have one of the best defenses. The Lions have one of the worst defenses. So it comes down to, can Trubisky move the ball enough against a bad defense to cover? I think with Patricia gone, it definitely gives the Lions another point or two, maybe a touchdown.
You know what it's like? The week after, it's always like, what have we – all right, guys, look. We know a lot of things are fucked up right now. What do we do that works? Let's do that. What are we doing that works? And so it seems to be like everyone does what has been working or what they feel confident in. And, teams just somehow or another find a way to win. Like the Texans are a better team now than they were at the beginning of the season, obviously, because they don't have
Absolutely. And the Falcons are 4-2 since the firing.
Yeah. So I think we should take the Lions.
I agree.
Great.
Then we have the Bengals visiting the Dolphins. Fitzpatrick most likely will be starting, so I would take the Dolphins.
I'm not giving 11.5 points, though.
11.5 points is a lot of points.
Yeah. The Bengals are going to cover 11.5 points. I guarantee
maybe we look at the over-under of 42.
I like the Bengals covering 11.5.
You like the Bengals covering?
Yeah, covering 11.5 for sure.
With what's his name, Allen at quarterback?
You throw Allen, you throw whoever you want in there. He's got another week to practice at least. The defense is pretty good or decent. So I don't like Miami blowing out.
The Bengals covering right now is juiced up, so that makes me uneasy. Usually when more people are doing that, that means Vegas knows something we don't.
There's a Fitzpatrick revenge narrative there.
Yeah.
Not really, but he played for them.
I mean, it makes me uneasy. If it was Tua, I would fucking make another bet with you and say the Bengals win outright, but I think the Dolphins win by 2 touchdowns. The Bengals are bad on both sides of the ball. They have no offensive line. Mixon's still not playing. I mean, I benched Tyler Boyd. I'm benching Tyler Boyd in a couple of my leagues for the rest of the year just because the Bengals are just lost without Joe Burrow.
I'm with
If
Brent
this
on
was a
that.
team that all right. If this was a team I felt confident that it's going to go out there and put up points, Miami, but you don't know what you're going to get. You know, they didn't cover 11.5 points against the fucking Jets last week.
Because the Jets are playing better.
No, I know.
They didn't, but the Jets are playing better. The Bengals are not.
If the Jets and the Bengals were playing each other, you would take the Jets to win.
I would take the Jets, yes.
Okay, you're wrong there too. Anyway, you'll be wrong on this one. Congratulations. All right, Miami.
Well, Lucas is riding with me again.
Cincinnati to cover.
No, Miami's covering.
Miami to cover.
Next up, we have the Colts and the Texans. The Colts are going to Houston and giving 3 points, road favorites, over under a 51. A lot of this comes down to will the Colts get their 3 defensive linemen back who all went on the COVID list? Because they were out. Derrick Henry went crazy on them. So if they get those guys back, it does make that defense a lot better. And
what do we do?
Phillip Rivers is playing okay. Well, we can't wait, so we just got to make the guess. Do we think they're going to come back and do the –
We can wait.
We can't wait. We can't – I got to put the bet in today. This is the show. This is what we do. Unless you want to do this again on Friday.
Don't fuck with it then. Don't – I mean, this is straight money we're talking about here, dude.
You have no opinion one way – let's say I didn't say any of that before. Do you have an opinion on this game? The Texans are playing
No, I don't
better?
like this game at all. I don't like
Then we'll move on.
The Colts got their tits lit up last week, right? The Texans can show up now. So I don't like that game at all.
How about Jacksonville going to Minnesota? Minnesota
I hate that game too. I mean, Minnesota's going to win, but I don't think they're going to win by 9.5 or 10 points. I'll tell you that right now.
So you think Jacksonville can cover? DJ Chark will be back this week.
DJ Shark, DJ Shark,
DJ Chark. So it does make Jacksonville a little bit better. And Glennon wasn't terrible. I mean, they played Cleveland close.
Yeah.
Cleveland's not a great team.
Jacksonville
They're like a
9.5 covers.
Well, we're getting 10 right now on my bookie.
Ooh, sizzle. All right. I think they cover that, dude.
I agree.
I'm with Steve.
Cover City. I know what
here we go.
Next.
Here we go. I am ready for this one. The Raiders are going to MetLife Stadium to play the New York Football Jets, and they are road favorites, 8 points with an over-under of 47.
I'll tell you this. I don't know what happened to the Raiders this past week. What the fuck? That team looked so shitty. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I watched a quarter of that game. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? This isn't a team that almost beat Kansas City and beat them once and almost beat them twice. So, look, I don't think they're bad enough to not beat the Jets in a parking lot. But I don't know if it's going to be by 8 points.
The Jets will win a game that will screw over their chances at Trevor Lawrence. That's my prediction.
Well,
so
how does it work if they and the Jacksonville Jaguars both finished with 1 win?
It's strength of schedule. So whoever had the easiest schedule gets the pick, gets the first pick.
So I wonder, and that's determined by the winning percentage of all the teams they played at the end of the year.
Right. And there's a couple instances where the winning percentages between 2 tied teams is the exact same. And in that instance, they do a coin flip.
Oh.
God, that would be great to see the 2020 coin flip for Trevor Lawrence.
Well, they do it at the combine and they do it behind closed doors. So they've never, put it on TV, but it's happened.
Oh, I thought they
would
would do it like on a street and it would fall to a grate. Would go through you wouldn't even tell what it was heads or tails. The coin's gone. Yeah, I think the Raiders beat the Jets, but not by 8 or not. I'm not 100% positive by 8. So that's my prediction.
Yeah, I'm not confident in Oakland at all either. I put money on them.
You don't think they're going to win, Lucas?
I don't know.
Oh my God, they're going to win, Lucas.
I would take the Jets again, at least to cover. But I think
you want to do another case of wine?
This is the Jets' week to air it all out and shine, baby, shine. Josh Jacobs has a hurt ankle. He might not play.
Hey, man, I love wine. Send another case my way. I'll take the Raiders. You want to take the Jets again?
I'll take the Jets if you're giving me 8 points.
Yeah, I would take those points.
I'm not giving you 8 points. I'm saying the Jets are going to lose to the Raiders. That I know. You're saying the opposite.
I would take the points for sure. I don't know if the Jets win that game, but the Raiders look so bad. Who knows? Maybe they bounce back and just do a 180, but God dang. I mean,
if the Raiders don't win this game, prayers to Derek Carr's wife, because I don't want to see what she looks like on Monday morning.
Whoa, Brendan. Easy does it. Pump the brakes on domestic violence accusations.
I am
My goodness.
An interview that he said week 6 or something. He hates losing and he takes it out on his wife.
Oh,
you don't remember that? Right. We talked about it on the podcast.
You got to whisper stuff like that.
We talked about that 5 bottles of Bailey's ago.
Easy does it. Look, dude, let's just fucking move. It's the Jets. We're spending more time on the Jets than the Jets spend on themselves.
Okay, we'll move on. We got the Saints going to Atlanta. The Saints are road favorites -3 with an over/under of 46.
Fucking Atlanta. Like what? Like I don't know who Atlanta is.
Their defense is good. I think their offense, I don't trust.
What is Atlanta?
I would say the opposite.
The fucking Raiders up.
The defense had a good week against Las Vegas, but Las Vegas just had a really poor day on offense. I think Atlanta has a lot of good weapons on offense, and Gurley being out is kind of a blessing in disguise because he's not that good anymore. But they have, I think, Calvin Ridley is the best route runner in the NFL, and Julio Jones is a beast. Matt Ryan is still good enough that he can get it out there. Hayden Hurst is a solid tight end. So they can put up points, and Taysom Hill is basically neutering that offense and all of its weapons because he just either runs the ball or Murray runs the ball. So if they stack the box against him and say, okay, now you got to throw against us, I think Atlanta has a legitimate shot of winning the game. And they know New Orleans is as good as anybody.
And they are home.
They're home.
I know. I'll take Atlanta, bro.
I'm with you. It's a little bit juiced up on the +3, but I mean, if we took Atlanta on the money line, +130.
You want to take Atlanta on the money line, huh?
I would take Atlanta on the money line because we get better odds. And look, Taysom Hill's not going undefeated.
Look, I don't mind taking an underdog with you on a money line as long as it's not the Jets. So yes, we can do this one.
That's fine. All right, this one, I cannot pick the Titans fast enough. The Browns are the biggest 8-3 phonies in the history of 8-3 phonies. They are terrible. They've only beaten bad teams. They've gotten crushed by teams with winning records. Tennessee is going to light them up.
The only reason, well, no, they can lose this week. Then they can win, and then the Giants play them. So I need them to come off of a win, not off of a loss. So – no, Tennessee should win this game. I don't know if they'll cover the 6 because, Cleveland can score. Myles Garrett's the best defensive player in the NFL, I think. And so, but, how do they do against the run?
Tennessee's so on defense, but Cleveland's I don't think Cleveland's defense can stop A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry. I mean, just run away from Garrett, and he's going to run over everybody else.
I don't love the 6, but I like Tennessee on the money line.
I think the game will go over the 54.
Okay. I agree with you there. I like a 28-30 something game.
We'll take Tennessee on the money line.
Okay.
Next up, another big division game. We got the Los Angeles Rams going to Arizona with a Kyler Murray that we don't know if he's going to be feeling good or if he's going to be timid and not want to run and not throw the ball like he has been the last few weeks.
I don't know because I thought the Cardinals were obviously going to beat – I predicted they beat the Patriots last week, and he didn't look good at all. I thought he was going to look good, especially against Belichick, or try to impress Belichick. So I thought, and the Rams didn't look good either.
Look, Goff is not good. He's not good, and he plays really bad against good defenses. But Arizona does not have a good defense. And if Murray is even slightly feeling hurt or slightly timid, then that Rams defense is legit, and they can shut him down. Ramsey is going to be on Hopkins, so you're going to have to look at Fitzgerald and Christian Kirk to make plays. So I kind of like the Rams, and the -3 is juiced up right now on my bookie. It's plus 100.
Again,
I think Goff will come off that loss and play good enough. But you can't make these picks based on who you want the Giants to be playing in what state. That's not how we win money.
I know, but I'm thinking the Cardinals are at home. They do play well at home.
Well, they would have lost another game if it hadn't been for a miracle Hail Mary at home.
Yeah,
and
they won that game.
They
won it, right?
should have lost to the Seahawks, but there was a pass interference penalty that was iffy in overtime. So you're looking at a team with a losing record and a losing record at home if those two things don't happen.
That's the team we need to show up against the Giants. This week, I think that they, at home, I think they win.
But can the Rams keep it within 3 points?
I don't know.
I think the Rams not only keep it within 3 points,
winners.
I think they win outright.
I'm with Brent on this.
You think the Rams win outright?
Yeah. I think Goff, I don't like him at all, but when he has a stinker like that, he'll balance it out. He'll play decent.
Honestly,
enough to win.
He's like a slightly better Derek Carr
well now. So yeah, good. Take the Rams. You beat me. You beat me down.
How about this one? Packers are hosting the Philadelphia Eagles.
Packers! Let's go, Packers.
Do you want them on the money line, or do you want to give them 8.5?
Money line. Money line.
We got to pick them.
Yeah, Chargers and the Patriots. Pick them means pick my dick. I think the Chargers win.
Did you watch Anthony? Watching Anthony Lynn coach, though, that is such a talented team with such bad management.
Really bad. Yeah. He said in an interview he doesn't like taking a timeout before there's a minute left.
Yeah.
Who says that as a coach? It's all situational.
I know. You have to do it. Sometimes you have – and you have a rookie quarterback, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you got to, sometimes pump the brakes a little bit.
I mean, the Bills should have lost that game.
The only thing that makes me nervous is Herbert has played on I think he's going to break records for a rookie quarterback starting his
he's good.
He's good, but if they fire him, does that mean Herbert gets a new guy that kind of ruins his game and changes everything, and he doesn't play as well?
Or does he get someone that comes in there like a Bill O'Brien, a quarterback whisperer, who can help?
You don't want Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien would trade him for Will Fuller's suspension.
But it'll make him a better quarterback before he leaves. Question: Are there professional quarterbacks playing for the Denver Broncos this week?
It depends on if they pass the protocol. It's 10 days where you have to go with negative tests and
if the
all
Chiefs
that, which is why
play a Bronco team that does not have a professional quarterback, they will win by 28 points. Do you hear me?
Yes.
The Broncos lost 31-3 to a team that's not very good themselves. Well, I mean, look, the Saints.
Saints are a good team.
Saints are a team that can go to the Super Bowl.
But they have a tight end playing.
They are not a team that everyone's predicting to go to the Super Bowl like the Kansas City Chiefs are. And if they lost 31-3, they're going to lose 1,000-3 against the Chiefs. So that's my prediction on that one.
So we're giving the Chiefs the 14 points.
I will give them 14 points.
Okay.
At home against a high school to Division II college football team, yes.
And now the moment we've all been waiting for.
I mean, look, if you guys don't beat the fucking 49ers.
Night football.
How do you not beat the 49ers on Monday night? How do you not do it?
And the game's going to be played in Arizona.
Yeah,
It's
that's terrible.
D-Day.
They're all going to have PTSD when they walk in that locker room because last time they were there was the Hail Mary play.
Not PTSD. They're all going to have fires under their asses.
That's what I hope.
It's fine. You guys will win, and you'll win by more than 3 points.
Boom. All right, so we have the Lions +3, the Miami Dolphins -11.5, the Jaguars covering 10 points, the Falcons on the money line, the Titans on the money line, the Rams -3, the Packers on the money line, the Chargers is a pick'em, the Chiefs -14, and the Bills -2.5. $50 wins us $20,060.73. Lock it in.
Wow.
Gee. Now, if we pick the Broncos, would that up it to like $500,000?
We would probably become the CEO of my bookie if we took the Broncos.
We just get the company then.
We get the
just
company.
Give us the keys to the joint.
They forfeit.
Oh, now they're like, you make the lines.
You want to talk about a bad beat?
Picks.
Two things happened in that Eagles game with the Seahawks.
Oh, yes, I know. The 2-point conversion.
The 2-point conversion lost a guy $500,000 because he put $500,000 on the Seahawks to cover, and he lost it on the 2-point conversion, which they basically just said, go ahead and take it. We don't give a shit. And then on DraftKings, that Hail Mary swapped. There was a guy who had it, and he just needed those 27 little seconds to run off, and Richard Rodgers catches that deflection, and some other guy jumps up, and that guy fell to like 75th place. Went from $1 million on the last play to $500.
And nobody gives a fuck. How about that, huh?
It's just fun to watch.
It is. It's fun to watch people's just whole like lives go down the drain in split seconds.
Yeah.
Because other grown men do things that they're supposed to do. It's awesome. By the way, speaking of things you're supposed to do, I was supposed to be going to Omaha, Nebraska this weekend. Unfortunately, the gig's been canceled due to COVID. You know, everyone's got it everywhere. So sorry to the waiting lounge folks and everyone in Omaha that bought tickets. I'll be back next year. I think I'm coming back in April of 2021, if there is an April. And my next thing on the schedule is New Year's weekend in Arlington Draft House in DC or the Arlington, Virginia area. So who knows if that's going to happen, but fingers crossed. So that, and then also I wanted to give not a shout out. I want to call out the Danish and O'Neill podcast. We do have a lot of crossover, and some of their crossover fans, some of our crossover fans, Trevor, to be more specific, ratted on me and emailed the podcast telling them that I was planning on bringing Mickey as an emotional support dog on the plane. And they've been railing against this for years. And so now they made a big deal about it on their podcast. So this Sunday, we're going to have a great debate in my garage. I'm going to film it. It's going to be Danish and O'Neill and myself and John Little as a moderator. We're going to debate the pros and cons of freedom in America, freedom to do what you'd like to do, freedom to have emotional problems and to be able to deal with them in the way you see fit. And so we'll film that. Hopefully we'll have that up in a couple weeks. We're doing it on Sunday. So
I'm no expert at debating, but I'll tell you, you just come in with a hard, I'm mentally unstable, you are discriminating against me, and cancel them.
Hello.
This is the week that they get canceled.
Brenton. I watched many Law and Orders. I know how to argue a case, okay? I know what I'm doing here, okay? You can't handle the truth, and this whole court's out of order, all right? I know what I'm doing. This whole court's out of order. So, I'm prepared. We're doing that this weekend. But I will not be told or bullied or shamed into any decision, okay? You will not shame me, Danish and O'Neill. You call yourselves the #1 bestiality podcast. You're the #1 rat podcast. The #1 podcast for rats. Filthy, narking, elf on a shelf, Gestapo rats. All right? Same people that ruin people's Thanksgiving. Oh, my neighbors had 30 people at their house. Oh, my neighbor's grandfather's over there. fucking rats. The Rat Cast. That's what I'm calling Danish and O'Neill from now on. Host of the Rat Cast. So we'll settle this on the couch right here this Sunday. That's the podcast for the week. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to add to the potlatch here or what?
Do you want to do the Monday game this week?
No. Oh, you mean talk?
Watch with our fans.
Oh, yeah.
Sending you money.
The Bills and the Niners, for sure, dude. Yeah, for sure. 100%. It's D-Day, December 7th. So we have to honor everyone.
It's a huge game. This will determine, I think, if the Bills win this game, they win the division.
Yeah, and the Giants
lose this game, I think the Dolphins
could
jump over them.
Guys, how does it feel just to be people that have first place teams
in December? I'm not used to this feeling.
December.
They've been 8-3
2 years in a row.
Dude, the Giants are going to win the Super Bowl. Could you imagine if it's the Giants and the Bills in the Super Bowl?
It's happened twice where teams with losing records have won in the playoffs.
I thought you meant the Giants beating the Bills in the Super Bowl. It's happened before, yes.
Yeah,
Steve, here's what I really want, and I think it could happen, is the Giants playing the Bucs in either round 1 or round 2 and taking Tom Brady out a third time.
Yes.
It would be the Giants Super Bowl.
Yes.
We will. We'll take anyone out. We're taking everybody out, dude. Everyone's going down. Danny Dimes, Blake Martinez. He's going to tackle everyone. Danny Dimes is going to run past everyone. Once he gets that hammy fixed, he's going to be up to 30 miles an hour. 30 miles an hour. Okay? Do you know how far you can fumble a football when you trip and fall 30 miles an hour? He's going to fumble it out of the stadium, dude. Into the stands, he's going to fumble it. I love everyone on this podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, Tiger Woods and his son is playing golf together this weekend. And if you want to watch something fun and you want to watch the future of golf, watch them together because his son is probably better than he is. It's insane. There's a video of the two of them warming up on the range together, and their swings are identical. It's awesome. So check that out. I think it's the PNC Father-Son Championship this weekend. So check it out. I'm done. That's the podcast. Love you guys. Talk to you next week.